Ghetto Bible Study, we're in Proverbs 9, and the title of today's message is The Wise Woman versus the Foolish Woman. What up, what up? You're watching Ghetto Bible Study, a dope way to read the Bible. I am Proverbs 31 mom. We're reading the Bible all the way through, and you'll notice it's daytime, it's nighttime, and it's everything in between because that's what it takes to get these messages out. So, today's proverb is Solomon's last poem, and we're going to talk about the first part, which is the smart woman, Lady Wisdom, and then the second part we'll discuss tomorrow, which is about the foolish woman. And ultimately what he's trying to express is choices. Who are you going to choose to influence you? Which invitation to which party are you going to accept? One of them leads to life, the other one leads to death. I hope we all learned something from today's message about life's choices. Stay tuned. Proverbs 31. Wisdom is the name of the woman who built her house, and she has made it beautiful. Do y'all remember last time I was speaking to y'all in the same area and I panned up at the ceiling, and instead of an actual ceiling, what you saw was a burnt roof? Do y'all remember in this same area, it was, well, of course there was no TV on the wall. It was dark, it was grim, it was dusty, it was under construction. But God has given me the opportunity to see through the mess, and more importantly, to see the message. And today's message is going to share with us two different women, one that's wise and one is not so wise, and how the wise person's life is versus the one who's just foolish. And I'm praying that everyone who watches this message today is able to see through the mess that may be going on in their lives and to grasp hold of God's message that he's trying to get to propel through it. She has prepared her meat and she's mixed her wine. She got her table ready. She sent out her Evite. Come in, everybody who's not wise. Come in, people who are fools. Come, eat my food. Drink the wine that I've mixed, my cocktails. Leave the ways of fools. If you do, you will continue to live. Do what wise people do. Y'all know I'm paraphrasing, right? What do wise people do? Wise people are in their word. Wise people trust God for guidance, for answers, for clarity, for direction. Wise people talk and communicate with the Creator before they make any moves in life. And therefore, doing what wise people do will cause you to continue to live. So, if we're not doing what wise people do, are we really not living? Or are we really not living our best life? The life that God intended for us to live. Now, some people think they all that. And you might tell them that they shouldn't cuss. But they gonna cuss you out if you say that. So do not tell a bad man that he is wrong. Because if you do, he gonna attack you. Let me tell you how the Holy Spirit works. So yesterday I was reading this message, and it's about how if you tell, bad people that they're doing something bad, that not only will they talk bad about you, but they'll attack you. My brother asked me a question about homosexuality and how should we tell them that what they're doing is wrong? It was a YouTuber that we was watching, but he's a Christian, and it's obvious that he's gay, or if he's not gay, he's very feminine. So he was like, the right thing to do would be to tell him that he's wrong, right? And before I answered, I went to my word. I pulled out my phone and I read this message to him. You tell bad people that they're doing something that's wrong, they will attack you. Now, am I saying gay people are bad? No, I'm not saying that. Am I saying men who act feminine are bad? No, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that if we pointed it out, ooh, you gay, ooh, you act feminine, ooh, you act whatever. Why do you act like that? You shouldn't. You should act like a man up, toughen up. What do you think that will do to them? Now, if our whole goal and life purpose is to bring people to God and show God's love, right? Show the characteristics of God through us. If that's like our purpose, with me coming at somebody and pointing out what's blatantly wrong and they know that it's wrong, how will that soften their heart or change their hearts to want to know my God? And here in this proverb, it actually says that they will not only talk bad about us Christians that do that, they will also attack us. So what I'm understanding, the right way to handle that is to love the sinner but hate the sin. You love them. I got family members who are homosexuals and I love them. I hate their sin. So when they bring their sin into a situation, I don't acknowledge it. I don't say nothing about it. I don't honor it, but I'm kind to them. Even the person that they're with, I'm kind to them because God is kind to me, who sins all the time, whether I'm aware of it or not, and my sin is no different than theirs. And what I'm hoping is that my kindness will attract them to my God. My kindness and my love will soften their hearts to help them want to change, to receive more of God's love. Because ultimately, their sin is blocking God's love in their lives. Now, I'm not saying His grace don't cover it, because God still look out for them, for sure. But like I said in the beginning, as far as like living your best life, you're not living your best life if you're living in sin. You're just not. So I'm not going to make it any better if I attack you. But what I'm going to do is love you through it. And at some point, if you want to know how to get out, I want to be an open book to help guide you. Not necessarily the way out, which I believe I can because God chose me to go through something very similar with homosexuality. But more importantly, to allow God to guide you through. I've shared with you in the past how I was molested by a male and a female as a kid, a small kid. But I didn't become what happened to me. And I have a soft spot for people who are stuck in homosexuality when they don't have to be. And I am an example of God's grace and His mercy and His love and His guidance to pull you through it. I'm the green grass. I'm the other side of that sin. It is possible. And if anyone's watching this message and has prayed about a way out, please talk to me, because there is a way out, and His name is Jesus. Don't tell these people they wrong. If you do, they gonna hate you. You can tell a wise man that he is wrong. If you do, he'll love you. Now, the opposite side of this is if you tell a wise person that they are wrong, they will actually love you for it. Let's be wise and accept correction. Because ultimately, that could be God using a person to change us, to become who He created us to be. Let's not have our guards up so much and just accept correction as Christians and love on someone who's correcting us. That's hard to do. It's hard to do, but it's possible, and it's for the better, and it's to make us better. Anything that you say to wise men will cause them to be more wise. Good men will learn whatever you tell them. Being scared of God is actually a good thing. It's the foundation of wisdom. And knowing God and respecting Him will cause you to understand things. So earlier in the message, I asked a question: what do wise people do? The answer that I gave was, wise people are in their word, and how wise people trust God and, for direction and all of that stuff. But here it says that wise people fear God. And when we fear God, ultimately we know Him and we understand things. Don't you want to understand God? I do. But some things are so beyond my understanding that in order for God to just get what He needs to be done in my life, there's some fear that might arise that I have for Him that makes me respect Him, that will cause me to make the right decision, that will cause me to understand things that otherwise I wouldn't understand. For instance, I respect God so much that I am fearful to cheat on my husband because He says that we're not supposed to commit adultery or anything like that. We read in these Proverbs how there was a woman whose husband was out of town for 2 weeks, and she in them streets and she doing what she want to do, and you know what I mean? I'm using these words because sometimes my son watches this show and he's only 9. So ultimately, because of my fear of God, it makes me respect God and respect God's laws towards marriage. So I won't do anything to hurt my marriage or hurt my husband because I'm scared of God. So what did we learn today? We learned that Lady Wisdom is building a house and she's making it beautiful. And now she's going to throw a housewarming party. So she sent an Evite. She mixed some cocktails. She made the table. She sent the message out to people who are not wise yet, so that they can learn how to live well and do what wise people do. Now, there are some people out there that you just can't tell them that they are wrong, because if you do, they're going to snap at you and they're going to attack you. But there are some people who will respect what you say and take it as constructive criticism and love you. And anything that you say to wise men is going to cause them to be more wise. And lastly, the fear of God is the foundation of wisdom. And if we know Him, it forces us to have good judgment. And that sums up today's message. If you learned something or like something, make sure you go ahead and press that like button, subscribe, and tell other people how to get to heaven. Shameless plug. Have a blessed day.